I got a private message regarding one of my last videos, or my last video, and I'm just going to read that, and usually if I get a private message, I'm not going to say their name, so if it's private, I'll keep you private. The message, on the other hand, since nobody knows who you are, is still as good as private, but the comment was, or the question was, what's your view on the soul or spirit? I hear that with spiritualism a lot. I still don't really know what people mean by spiritualism. Well, you're in good company. You say that you're spiritual in the sense that you feel connected with the world and like beautiful things and stuff. Well, I think most people do. I think you're right. That's you look at something cool, and most humans are going to agree that almost anything like that is going to be beautiful and spectacular, and people appreciate it. Even grumpy people, they won't say it, they're like, no, but they'll still feel it. I don't think it means anything to say I'm spiritual in the least in that sense. It's just pointless to state that. We all think sunsets are pretty, or get that feeling. You know what I mean. Yes, I agree. Spiritual in that sense is completely pointless. And I don't use the term. And I think the issue here is, again, language. I think a lot of people that use the term spiritual is a cop-out for atheism, where they would rather not use the term, and a lot of people are forced into it. But you get the hippie chicks with the dreadlocks and the shells in their hair, and they're all wonderful people, but they'll tell you, I'm more spiritual. I think I just feel the energy of the earth and Gaia and her hugging hands. I know I'm a little biased. I know a lot of these people. I think they want it to mean more. I do believe they are more pantheist. I had somebody ask me if I was a pantheist, or I lean more pantheist. No, I'm pretty much a hardcore atheist, because I know that you can't actually know. You can't actually know. You can't prove a negative. But I can, with reasonable assurity, look around me and see that it isn't affecting me. At least I can see that the God of the Bible is demonstrably untrue. The God of any written book or religion, organized religion, is demonstrably false. So I can do that. So every religion that I've seen and studied and thought about, and I can dismiss quite readily, and I do. But that doesn't mean I think I can know for sure. I just, I know fairly reasonable that tomorrow the sun will come up. Fairly solid on that. I don't know for sure, but man, due to all the other evidence, I'm just gonna say that yes, I believe 100%, because if it doesn't, that would be evidence of something weird. So in that same vein, no, I can't prove that there's no God, but I can also say with a surety that there is no God, just not scientifically. There is, a difference between scientifically, where you're being really strict, and kind of colloquially, again, don't say words like that when you have a cold, that there isn't. There effectively isn't. So when people are saying, I'm spiritual and I feel the loving hands of Gaia and the force of nature around me, I think they believe that there is an entity, a force that's conscious and loving and positive. So I do believe when they say it, they're referring to a belief in a form of deity-style entity, pantheist. The whole universe is God or gods, and that's how they see that. They probably still believe in some sort of afterlife or some sort of individual retention. They'll remember who they are after they die. But you're right when if for someone like me to say I'm spiritual, I don't use those terms unless pushed into a corner, and then it's usually only to describe when other people say that they're spiritual. So I don't. That was what my viewpoint is on the soul or spirit. Well, again, and this is kind of rambling. I don't really have a set. This is a conversation I've had a few times, but I haven't nailed down a belief system that I can just put out there and have everybody recognize and put me into their nice little folder. Soul or spirit, so I'm going to have to again go back to language. Soul or spirit, let's go with the spirit of things. There's a spirit in the room, a feeling of the room. To me, it's very generic scientific terms. They're descriptive, not inductive of something else. It's not alluding to anything other than a description. The soul. The soul. Well, obviously, I don't believe there is a soul. I still use the term soul, but not in any form of religious afterlife, something separate from the body. When I see something atrocious, violent, I was listening to my dad watch The Green Mile the other night, and there was a particularly unpleasant character that raped and murdered 2 children. If you've seen the movie, you know it's pretty unpleasant. And I feel damaged in my soul or disturbed in my soul when I see stuff like that. As I don't usually watch horror or slasher films or anything like that because it bothers me in my soul. But again, I'm not talking about anything separate from me. If I die, my soul dies with me. So for soul, I guess I mean my spirit of being. My story, the story of my life, feels hurt. But it's nothing magic. I believe we are only the electrochemical impulses and mechanical computations that occur, and really our conscious thought, our outward appearance, how we react to our environment outwardly, is also partially separate from our subconscious decision-making. I am a firm believer that we make a decision subconsciously before we make the physical effort. Before you go, oh, I'm hungry, and get up and go do something, you've done the computations and you know what your intention is before you're conscious of it. Your consciousness just goes, oh, well, I'm going to play along, and so there's that. I also want to address, if somebody's gotten through this rambling a bit, I will be doing another video for Metasage on one of his documentaries that he's been kind of sitting on for a while. It'll be a bit before I can get to it, because I kind of want to put something together so he doesn't get a rambling piece of crap video like this one is. So if you watch this Metasage, I do plan on doing something like that, and it's one of my passions, and quite pertinent to the times, since Colorado and Washington legalized, and there's other states working or talking about legalizing through legislation as well before the next vote. So I will be doing that, and I think that's it. There's probably some other stuff, but I'm going to go. Peace.